Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night feeling cold sweats, restlessness in your legs, or needing to go to the bathroom multiple times? Those things that might seem like normal signs of aging could actually be subtle signs of diabetes silently developing in your body. Welcome, everyone, to today's discussion. I will join you in exploring 7 nighttime warning signs of diabetes, and specifically 8 simple tips to help improve this situation without needing to completely cut out carbohydrates from your meals. Each tip is easy to follow, not complicated, and still allows you to keep the joy of eating every day, which is very important when living with a chronic illness like diabetes. Please listen closely because perhaps just by making small changes in the evening, you will find it easier to sleep, feel healthier, and feel more at ease every day. Sign number 1 that often appears at night is waking up to go to the bathroom. Previously, you might have only woken up once or perhaps not at all during the night, but now this habit has changed. You wake up 3 or 4 times a night to urinate. This is a warning sign that your blood sugar level may be high. This sign often occurs when blood sugar levels start to exceed 180 milligrams DL or 10 milligrams L. I always provide both units because some countries use one unit or the other. Why is this? Because when blood sugar is high, your kidneys start to flush out glucose to compensate. When glucose is flushed out, water is also pulled out along with it, causing you to need to urinate frequently. This isn't just a slight urge to go to the bathroom. You are waking up and needing to pass a significant amount. Compare this to your usual nighttime bathroom habits. Many people already wake up at night. For example, me, I still wake up 3 to 4 times every night to go to the bathroom. I have had all the tests and I do not have diabetes. So waking up at night doesn't always mean you have diabetes. But the change in habit, the frequency, is the important warning sign. The second sign of diabetes at night is obstructive sleep apnea. What is that? Often when sleeping, you feel like you're suffocating and sometimes wake up gasping for air. This isn't just a feeling. In obstructive sleep apnea, your airflow can be interrupted, causing a condition called hypoxia, which is low oxygen in the blood. This makes you wake up and struggle to breathe. So this isn't just a simple feeling. Obstructive sleep. Apnea is directly related to high blood sugar. It can even cause high blood pressure as it affects many other aspects of the body. Ask your family members if anyone says you snore very loudly. Excessive snoring is often linked to obstructive sleep apnea. If you wake up feeling suffocated, go get checked right away. Sleep apnea has many metabolic consequences, and one of them is increased blood sugar. Often patients are already taking medication following instructions, but this condition can still raise their blood sugar. So pay special attention to your sleep at night. Sleep is extremely important. Sign number 3 is a burning sensation in your feet at night. Many people report that they feel more sensitive to their bed sheets, and this can indicate diabetic neuropathy, one of the most common complications of diabetes. 50% of diabetic patients may experience this nerve damage condition. It can manifest as increased sensitivity and a burning sensation. Some people say just having the bed sheet on them feels very uncomfortable. So you need to be extremely careful. You won't always feel hot or cold in your feet. If ignored, this condition can progress to a loss of sensation over time. Have you heard that people with diabetes have a higher rate of amputation? Often diabetic neuropathy leads to wounds, and due to impaired wound healing and reduced immunity against bacteria, the wounds can spread, potentially leading to amputation in extreme cases. Diabetic neuropathy is serious and needs attention. You might notice it more clearly at night. Why does it happen? High blood sugar can damage nerves and change your sensation. As a diabetes expert, I want to emphasize that these changes can occur even when blood sugar levels are only slightly elevated. For example, 110 milligrams DL or 6.1 mmol L for those using that unit. So we are dealing with a quite narrow range here. It's important to pay attention even when these values are only considered prediabetes when measured on an empty stomach. This just shows how serious diabetes is. Sign number 4 is when you wake up at night sweating profusely, trembling, soaking wet pillow along with a rapid heartbeat. This could be a sign of low blood sugar, also called hypoglycemia. The definition of low blood sugar is when blood sugar levels drop below 70 mg/dL or 3.9 mol. And how is this related to diabetes, you might be wondering? Well, it is the opposite extreme. Because in the early stages, even with prediabetes, we can experience a condition called reactive hypoglycemia. If you eat a carbohydrate-rich dinner, your pancreas reacts by producing even more insulin. Since your body already struggles with insulin in the prediabetes stage, this can lead to reactive hypoglycemia. So even if you don't have diabetes yet, you should check your blood sugar if you experience these symptoms. If you already have diabetes, be careful because many medications can cause low blood sugar. People often think only insulin causes hypoglycemia, but many other medications, even those that affect insulin production, can do this. So what do I suggest if you wake up sweating, trembling with the symptoms I just mentioned? Check your heart rate and blood sugar level at that time. Write down the results and show them to your doctor at your next appointment. This can be very helpful in adjusting your treatment plan. This low blood sugar situation can also cause rebound high blood sugar. What is that? Blood sugar drops down and then spikes back up, causing you to wake up with high blood sugar levels. So you need to be extremely careful. Sign number 5 at night is very interesting. Diabetes can increase restless leg syndrome. Have you heard of this syndrome? I'm quite sure you have, but many people misunderstand it. So how is restless leg syndrome defined? It involves involuntary movements, and this condition gets worse at night and when resting. It is not anxiety-related leg movements as many people think. This is slightly different. Movements related to anxiety are not linked to diabetes, but restless leg syndrome, RLS, is. If you experience it, check your blood sugar level. This condition is worse at night and when resting. And sign number 6 is waking up feeling tired. When blood sugar levels are high, you often cannot get deep and restorative sleep. You feel like you haven't slept well, like your body hasn't fully rested. Even if you sleep for enough hours, you can still wake up tired. It's like you've just run a marathon. Many patients report this condition. You might wake up feeling like you have heavy legs because your blood sugar levels have changed. Your body cannot use that sugar for energy in the cells and the muscles, so you will wake up feeling tired and need to check your blood sugar level. And sign number 7, before I share the tips on how to prevent this, sign number 7 is excessive thirst. Why? To compensate for the rising blood sugar level. A natural reaction of the body is to increase your water intake. This is aimed at trying to improve your blood sugar level. If you previously never woke up to drink water, but now you wake up 2 or 3 times, then this change in habit could be a sign of diabetes. If you have these symptoms, even if you had a blood sugar test not long ago, you should get tested again. In some cases of type 1 diabetes, for example, patients may have had normal test results just a few months prior. But because this is an autoimmune disease that attacks the beta cells in the pancreas that produce insulin, blood sugar levels can increase very quickly. Often there are not many signs before frequent urination, thirst, and fatigue appear. Sometimes this happens very quickly, say within 15 days. Even so, you still need to be evaluated by your doctor if you are experiencing these signs and symptoms. Now, how can we prevent this? How can we minimize sudden blood sugar spikes and help the body process glucose better? These tips are different from many tips I've shared before. So it's important that you watch until the end because I have reviewed recent scientific literature to bring you the most up-to-date information. Yes, there are 8 tips. Tip number 1, which is quite interesting, is about resistant starch. Have you ever heard that putting rice in the fridge turns it into a better type of starch? You probably think that's ridiculous.
And so did I before looking at the studies. But here's something noteworthy. If you cook rice, prepare it, and then put it in the fridge, then eat it the next day, for example, the starch structure changes. It becomes resistant starch. This helps reduce the blood sugar impact of the rice. Isn't that interesting? Studies show it is beneficial for gut health and digestion. If you have diabetes, putting rice in the fridge is worth trying. Many people ask if I can eat large amounts. Does this alone work? No, of course not. I'm talking about the same portion. If you compare the same amount of regular rice with rice containing resistant starch, you will see that blood sugar rises less with the second option. But it is not a cure, as some people might claim. So if you want to eat rice, try this tip to help manage blood sugar. Surprisingly, there is scientific evidence for this. Interesting, isn't it? Subscribe to the channel for more tips like this, and please hit the like button on the video so I have motivation to make more interesting videos.
Tip number 2. To minimize nighttime blood sugar spikes is to change the order of eating. For people with diabetes to avoid blood sugar spikes, it is ideal to start with greens due to their high fiber content. Then move on to protein and fat. Finally, if you want to eat carbohydrates like rice, potatoes, or pasta, eat them last to reduce their blood sugar impact. Many people just eat plain pasta or rice, which is quite common, but not ideal. Following this order brings great benefits for blood sugar management, helping to avoid sudden glucose spikes. I know some people might say it tastes better to eat carbohydrates first. That might be your preference, but let's not talk about taste preferences here, but about health, especially regarding diabetes, because the consequences of diabetes are quite serious, aren't they?
Tip number 3, to avoid blood sugar spikes is about vinegar. Many people talk about apple cider vinegar. Is it apple cider vinegar? Yes, that's right. But other types of vinegar that contain acetic acid are also being studied for their benefits in improving carbohydrate digestion. I'm not talking about drinking straight vinegar, as that can damage your teeth. But what about adding vinegar to your salad? Studies show that people who consumed vinegar, such as adding it to a salad, had additional benefits. Interesting, isn't it? I told you this video would have new science-based tips different from the usual tips you already know. So what is the recommended dose of vinegar? Around 60 ml per salad serving. Again, don't drink it directly, be careful. You won't consume that much vinegar, but they found that people who use 60 milliliters of vinegar on their salad received this benefit. Look into the benefits of acetic acid. I really like it, especially balsamic vinegar. What about you? What kind of vinegar do you like? Please share in the comments. I know many people really like apple cider vinegar.
Tip number 4, to avoid sudden glucose spikes at night without completely cutting out carbohydrates, is to avoid eating carbohydrates on their own. For example, many people like to eat a banana before bed. If you eat a banana, add some fiber or protein along with it. Similarly with potatoes, if you plan to eat potatoes, combine it. If you plan to eat bread, you don't have to give it up entirely, but add some protein like eggs to prevent blood sugar from spiking. Tip number 5. To avoid glucose spikes is to pay attention to carbohydrates with a high glycemic index, or GI. If you like cornflakes, breakfast cereal, white bread, or even rice, as I mentioned, try replacing them with whole grains. They are also very delicious. Whole wheat bread, seeded bread, and replacing rice with sweet potatoes or even boiled potatoes will also help you absorb this carbohydrate better and avoid that blood sugar spike. So choose carbohydrates with a lower glycemic index. The same applies to fruit. Many people say that fruit is off limits for people with diabetes, but that is not true. You need to check the glycemic index and understand the types of food you eat. This is where knowledge about diabetes comes into play. For example, swap bananas for guava. If you want to eat mango, choose strawberries instead. Look for options with less carbohydrate and a lower glycemic index. This will help you avoid blood sugar spikes. Apples are great to eat before bed. They help prevent blood sugar spikes at night because they are rich in fiber and provide vitamins, nutrients, and minerals. They can even help lower cholesterol thanks to pectin, a type of soluble fiber. There are many studies on this, so it's important to choose foods with a lower glycemic index.
Tip number 6 is about fiber intake. I will mention a number here. A study in the United States found that Americans consume on average about 15 grams of fiber per day. To manage blood sugar better, aim for 30 to 35 grams of fiber per day at least. This is the minimum, not the maximum. Americans consume less than half of the recommended fiber intake. Fiber is very important for stabilizing blood sugar and increasing satiety. An easy way to increase fiber intake is by adding seeds such as chia seeds or flax seeds, but also other fiber-rich foods, not just greens, but also foods specifically processed to help increase fiber.
Before bed, I like to eat yogurt with a teaspoon, which is 5 grams of chia seeds. This small amount helps me meet my daily fiber goal, bringing great benefits for metabolism and blood sugar levels. Tip number 7. Another way to reduce the blood sugar impact is to replace regular wheat flour with almond flour, coconut flour, chickpea flour, or oat flour. Many people think, oh, I heard oats are not good for people with diabetes. And yes, that is true in one aspect. Oats are mostly sugars and carbohydrates, but I'm comparing it to wheat flour. People often make baking recipes and don't know what flour to use to reduce the blood sugar impact. You can make this substitution. Personally, I'm not a big fan of flour-based foods, so I usually try to avoid them. But if you must eat them, then replacing wheat flour with the other flours I just mentioned is very much worth trying. This will help reduce the blood sugar impact.
Tip number 8 for controlling blood sugar. And this tip is also very interesting. A recent study on meals and blood sugar impact found that people who distribute their carbohydrate intake throughout the day have a better response compared to those who concentrate their carb intake at one time. For example, they compared eating 60 grams of carbohydrates in the evening with consuming smaller amounts spread out throughout the day. These people had a better ability to process carbohydrates, indicating that if you avoid carbohydrates all day and then eat them in the evening when you often crave them more due to circadian rhythm and cortisol levels, many people report stronger carbohydrate cravings at night. The study found that people who ate carbohydrates mainly in the evening processed them worse. This shows that distributing carbohydrates throughout the day is better for blood sugar, even if the total calories were the same.
Do you find these tips helpful? What about the signs and symptoms? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this video? If it's a 10, I'll make more videos like this.
So today, we have explored 7 nighttime signs of diabetes and 8 simple tips to help you improve the situation without needing to completely avoid carbohydrates. I hope these insights will help you sleep better, feel lighter, and feel more at ease each morning when you wake up.
If you found today's tips helpful, please leave a comment sharing your thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this video? If it's a 10, I will continue making more helpful videos like this. Next, don't miss the videos about foods that don't raise blood sugar. A very important topic to combine with today's tips available here on Seniors Beat Diabetes. Wishing you good health, enjoyable meals, and excellent blood sugar control every day. See you in the next video.